Hi tribe, welcome back to my channel. So I had a conversation with someone, when was it? Is it a week ago now, Pam? Yeah, about a week ago. And they were saying that, they're planning a wedding and there's quite a lot of pressure coming from the parents. So she wanted some advice, and I thought actually instead of just talking to her, I'm sure there are a lot of people getting married. Congratulations. Let me come here and, give my perspective on how to handle your finances and family around a wedding. So first things first, let us step back and say, what happens when you want to get married? So you guys have decided that, you're my boo thing for life. We're going to do this thing for life. I love you forever and ever. Amen. Normally, there is lobola, right? And for me, this is where it all starts. The conversation should be starting here around personal finances. How are we going to be handling money in the future? So if someone is going to go to your house, you know your partner and your partner knows you. Don't you guys get to discuss actually how much do you have that you are going to present to my family? I think that would be the first thing. So this conversation is the starting point of talking about finances. Yes, you hope that would happen much earlier, but here, this is the point of departure, saying that we are serious about our lives together. And this is where you start talking about the marital contracts. Are we going to get married in community of property, out of community of property, with or without the accrual system? And I'm actually doing a video about this with a lawyer in a couple of weeks' time. So just do watch out for that one. So this is where you should start talking about money. What happens, and I've seen with lobola negotiations, people, it's a lobola day, it's the negotiation day. Then there's this big fallout between your family and their family. So what does that teach you? It shows you that actually people are not honest enough. People do not talk enough about their finances and say, actually, this is how much I have to present to your family. And yes, perhaps sometimes it can happen that you both agree and you tell your parents, but one of the uncles who's hot-headed comes in and the whole thing just goes to so that's another possibility. But truly speaking, the beginning of talking about your finances together as a unit should start much earlier, if not at least with lobola negotiations. So that's why we're saying, okay, we should start talking about money. And if you don't talk about money, then your expectations might be here, and their expectations or what they want to present might be here. And already there's a disconnect. So being able to talk about money honestly with your partner is very important, because then you can be on the same page instead of one has this expectation, the other one has another expectation. So it's very important to start talking about money and being honest with where both of you are. And for me, it's always so shocking that you have parents who will say, I want someone to pay 300,000 rand for lobola for my child. Ma'am, sir, your child is coming out of varsity. They've just started their life. And maybe even the person that they're with is literally just at the beginning of their career. Where are they going to get 300,000 rand from? And actually, I know, some people don't see eye to eye with me on this, and I know we said we're not gonna go here with Pam, but I won't get into the full picture of what I think. But lobola really is just a gesture to show that you will be able to take care of your family. That's all it is. It's not proving, it's not buying your child. It's not proving that, I'm a multi-million. Even if you were, you don't have to lobola millions. For me, that's just my standing, and we can talk about it and debate it. You tell me actually, what is your view on lobola, right? So that's the lobola part. But now let's talk about the marriage. So let's hope and pray that things have gone well, that you have people who are level-headed and actually want both of you to succeed. So now comes the wedding time. Hey, I've been here myself. Now, the wedding, now you both are planning the wedding. One has expectation of this, the other one has an expectation of that, right? You want this massive wedding or you want a small wedding. So again, communication has to be key here to the both of you. And I think with anything as a couple, before you go present an idea to your parents, both of you must agree on what it is that you want. Remember, your parents are not always going to be there dictating or helping you or saying this is what should happen. You as a unit, you must draw your own conclusions. You must have your own conversation and say, what do we want out of this day? What are our expectations? And what is our budget for this event? Remember, it is that exactly, an event. One day, not your lifetime, not how your marriage is going to go. Actually, what your wedding day looks like is not a reflection of what your marriage will look like. Your wedding day can be the most perfect, and you can have the most imperfect and just ridiculous thing under the sun. So I think also just be mindful of the fact that it is an event. It truly is an event, not your whole entire life. So the two of you coming together and saying, all right, what are we going to agree on? Right? So you draw up your list. This is what I want. This is what I want. And come to some sort of a compromise to say, okay, this is what you want. This is what I want. Or these are the things that we have similar. Okay. Then next, what is our budget for this thing? What is it going to cost us? And how much do we both have, to facilitate this event, right? So now both of you have agreed, all systems go. Then that's the time to go to your parents, both of you, either individually or together, to say, all right, we have planned so and so, and this is our plan. Then yes, because they're our parents, and yes, we want to show respect, we want to honor our parents, we must involve them also in the process. But what happens oftentimes with our parents, with our mothers especially, they think that day is for them. They think that it's going to be one big show where they're going to show that, my child is getting married, and they're going to invite the entire street. They're going to invite the entire village. They're going to invite everyone. Nothing wrong with that. And if that's what you want and both of you aligned, or the three of you, or as a family, you're all aligned, perfect. But what often happens is that they will put all these expectations on you as a couple, and yet you actually don't have the funds for it, right? You actually don't have the funds to do this big thing. And that's where fights start coming in, right? And I think a lot of the times, because we don't want to be disrespectful or seem like we are disrespecting our parents, we just go on and on with the whole thing. But you know that inside you're in pain, as I often say. You know that things are not okay. You know that actually this is way out of our price range. And even this lady who was asking me, you can see that she's planning a wedding, but she's already frustrated. That weight of the financial weight was just too much. All right, so how do you deal with that? How do you deal with parents who are not understanding? But I think maybe even before that, let's take a step back and say, sometimes our parents don't understand because we are not honest with them, right? So you also have to look at your communication skills and say, what have I been saying to my parents? Or this is their perception. How have I let them go on with that perception, right? It's okay to let people down, especially in that way, because you're not saying, I'm disrespecting you, I'm just going to do my own thing, I'm eloping. No, I want to do things the right way, but actually, you think I have money, but I do not have money. So I think communication again here is very important. Effective communication with your parents to tell them that no, there's not that type of money. This is what things cost, and this, to tell the truth, this is our budget. And you can even say, this is our budget for sure, but if you would like more people, if you can contribute. you know. And unfortunately, in most cases, they don't. In most cases, most parents are not able to do that, you know. So effective communication and also setting boundaries, because yes, truly speaking, I know that some families, it's tough having this type of conversations. Can seem like you're just being hard. It can seem like, you know, you don't want to do this whole thing. So you have to take a look at it from you know, knowing your own family. But I think at the end of the day, having boundaries is so important. Having boundaries, even if the person is your parent, having boundaries and telling them that, you know what, today is just an event. We still have a whole life to go on. And remember, even statistics show that marriages that end normally is because of finances. So already you're setting yourself up for failure if you are going to go do a personal loan, max out your credit card just for an event, right? Just for an event. Remember, it's an event. So those conversations are very important. Setting boundaries with your parents and telling them that, you know what, I will not be able to go further than this. If your budget is 30,000, stick to your 30,000. I know it's not easy. I know it might feel painful, but the pain of having to pay for something much later when it's gone, people are full, people have drank, people have done whatever for the event, and you are stuck. Literally, you're starting off your lives with debt just because you wanted to please your parents. That's not it. And I think if maybe you will send this to a parent and you know that, you know, they are the parents who want the whole thing, I think also for them, it's an opportunity for them to be a parent. Really, it's an opportunity for them to be a parent and say, okay, it's an event. It does not have to be this big thing. You have to show up for your kids as a parent and say, you know what, I know you guys are starting out in life, and therefore there's no need for this massive thing. You know, I think it's a wonderful opportunity for a parent to show you that it's not about what people will say, what people will think. It's about, okay, what can be done practically and what is it that we can afford, right? So if you can find a compromise, if it was going to be at a venue, maybe it can be at home now. You know, still have wonderful foods, still, you know, just reaching a compromise, but making sure that you do not get into debt for an event one day. Remember, the following day, you have this person to look into for the rest of your life, and now you're living together and you are in debt. You know, I know some couples who got married and a month later, they're looking at each other, there's no food in the fridge. That doesn't make sense. That does not make sense at all, right? And in this case, the lady had a child, and the child is already going to a good school. Who's going to pay their fees? Now you've gone and had this wonderful event, but you don't have money to send your child to school. So really in life, you have to weigh these things, especially when it comes to an event. You have to weigh what is more important. What is more important in this case, right? And people's opinion of a wedding day on that day should not matter so much that you will get yourself in so much debt. It is not necessary, all right? And also, I think it can say so much about you and your partner if you just stand your ground and say, you know what, we know what we want to achieve for our lives, for our family, and we are not going to go with all this foolishness that's happening around us. And it's okay. And if you can, both of you agree on a plan of action and a budget and an honest conversation, that is the most powerful thing that you can do for yourselves, for your marriage, and your future. But starting off with debt, maxing out credit cards, taking personal loans just for an event, not a fantastic idea at all. And also, don't put yourself under pressure, right? I know, again, with social media, we see people throwing lavish weddings. They are somewhere by the mountain, somewhere by the river, all sorts of things. Ma'am, those people, they know what they're doing. You stick to your budget, stick to your life, make sure that your life works the way you want it to work out. It really, at the end of the day, is just a day. That's all it is. Make sure that you do have fun on the day, that you're not stressed out. Imagine walking down the aisle, there you are stressed out, you're about to pop a vein because you know that, at the end of the month, you have debts are piling up. That's not worth it. Protect your peace by all costs, okay? And yeah, so if you're getting married, congratulations, but don't do it with debt. All right, so I will see you soon, tribe.